Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler, they beat Rhino and Heath Slater. No mention of the 3MB connection between McIntyre and Slater, thank God. They should stay as far away from that as possible. I like the pairing so far. I mean, when they're out there and they're hitting that double finish where, he hits the Claymore kick and Ziggler hits the zigzag, it's a cool visual, but I watch these guys when they walk to the ring. I watch them in the ring, and I watch them leaving, walking to the back. And it's unbelievable how much more of a star, of a superstar, McIntyre looks than Ziggler. When they're walking side by side like that, like it's comical. This guy, he is built exactly what you would want out of a world champion professional wrestler, is Drew McIntyre. The only fault with him I could possibly find in the mind of Vince McMahon, and from just stories about Vince and listening to him talk about Cesaro when he did that interview with Steve Austin, the only possible fault I could find with Drew McIntyre, if I'm Vince McMahon, I could see him having an issue with the accent. But even the accent it's not like a thick accent where you can't understand what he's saying. It's not even as thick as like Finn Balor or Sheamus or somebody like that. It doesn't bother me one bit. Some people it might bother. Those people need to get over themselves. That's the only possible fault with him that I could find. Some might say, well, he doesn't have a lot of personality. He's not overflowing with charisma. You know what, though? He hasn't really had a chance to show it yet. He's only been on the main roster for a little bit. He hasn't really had much of a chance to show it. But I look at this guy and I just think this guy's a superstar. He just looks like a rock star here. And if he's not contending for the championship by the end of the year, then there's something very, very wrong with the people who write for and book this brand.